Okay, Netflix, I see ya. NERDSoul. Late ill kid at one youngster holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, oh yeah, we're about to bring another wonderful episode to you of On Screen. And today, once again, we got to push everything to the side because we got some news that I think is a pretty big deal that kind of flew by yesterday. Netflix acquiring Millarworld. If you don't know, Millarworld is the IP from Mark Millar, who is a comic book writer who has wrote things like Old Man Logan, Ultimate Avengers, Captain America Civil War. Well, not Captain America Civil War, but Marvel Civil War back in the comic book. And he's been around for a very long time, putting out a ton of content, and he has his own comic book company, which has published tons of different titles as well. And to bring those to you, you're gonna be thinking about things like Kick-Ass, you're gonna be thinking about things like Wanted, and you're gonna be thinking about things like Kingsman. And in all, Millarworld has probably I believe 18 different IPs on their own, and Netflix acquired them basically in hopes, or well, basically looking to make films, TV series, and kids shows. Now, I know what you're probably saying, Mark Millar doesn't really lend himself too well to children's entertainment, but a little bit later in this video, I'm gonna line out a couple things that maybe might work for him. So the reason why we're stopping everything is because this is a huge deal. Yes, it is. I know it doesn't seem like it is right now, but it is. Here's why. Mark Millar and Millarworld is what you would consider a indie publisher. And this is going to help bring more competition into the world of adapted graphic novels, adapted comic books, and things of that nature. Now, I know what you're saying, who cares? It's just Millarworld, it's no big deal. Well, together, the films that have been based off of his properties, whether Marvel has made them, based off of his stories, whether Marvel has made them, and based off his properties, whether, it's Kick-Ass or Wanted or, Kingsman, together, they've made around $3 to $4 billion. So his mind and his writing and his creations are definitely bankable. And what this does is it gives Netflix its own IP. And what I mean by that is, they work with, say, DreamWorks to do Voltron, but Voltron is still very much DreamWorks. With them acquiring and basically owning and taking this in, that's gonna give them a wealth of content that they control, that they operate, that they distribute, which means that they're gonna cut out any middlemen like, say, Universal or Disney or WB. This is gonna be all them, which is a huge deal because many of the properties that he has turned into film have ended up being either cult hits or hits in general. I mean, look at Kingsman, a lot of people loved it. Look at Kick-Ass, a lot of people loved it. Now with Netflix having that under their own banner, this means a lot for them, and it means a lot for Millarworld to be able to push forward into carving out a space for them in the geek space. And that is a huge potential for that greeny green. So what does this mean for us? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? Netflix bought something and, we ain't got no money. Well, hold on just a moment. What this means for us is more quality content. The more competition, the higher the bar is raised. So now that it's not just the big two in the game, and now we know that Sony is also coming with Valiant, Netflix is gonna be breaking it down with Millarworld, which means the more, the merrier. And the more competition, the more the bar will be raised. And not only with effects, not only with action sequences, but also with depth of characters and depth of story. So what this means for us is that we're just gonna get better content. And I'm all for it. And I love geek stuff. So, you got sci-fi stuff going on. You got past, present, future type stuff going on. You got your basic action stuff going on, your superhero stuff. There's a lot to love. But before we spread all this love around, let me remind you, you can find me on Black Hollywood Live. That's right, the first online network for African Americans. It's extremely dope. And you can find them at blackhollywoodlive.com, where they have celebrity interviews, after shows, sports talk, geek, nerd, tech, the whole shebang. And live streams from day to day at youtube.com/blackhollywoodlive. So I know a lot of people are wondering, like, what is Millarworld? What has he put out besides, you know, I didn't even know Wanted was his, or I didn't know Kick-Ass was his, or, you know, I didn't know what these properties were. I didn't know whose they were. But let me throw out my ideas of what I think could definitely work. With my top 5 different properties that I think Mark Millar and Netflix will probably push forward to kind of create something, and kind of a little bit of what I think should or could happen too. So number 5 is Chrononauts. This is a story. You got 2 wild guys. They're going through time, you know, time and space, and you got some cool stuff happening. I'm hoping that this goes animated. There's a lot of wacky, the art style is really cool. There's a lot of wacky stuff going on with this, and there's some stakes, but I think you could age this back a little bit to kind of maybe skew for older children, but I think this could be for kids. Now, I'm not saying Nick Jr. kids, but you know, Millarworld, they don't really scale too much for kids, so I think that this could be scaled back a little bit for like older kids, maybe like, you know, 10 to 13 age. I think they could really get into it, and you could drop stuff in there where they're always learning something every episode. I know y'all are probably gonna get mad at me for saying that, but they said kids series, man, so I'm trying to work this out for them. So that's my number 5. So number 4 is Superior. Now, Superior is, I think, a property that could work in a straightforward superhero show. Or, you know what? Let me take that back. I think a straightforward superhero movie. I think Superior could really work like that. There's this guy, without giving away too much, he kind of gets paralyzed, then he meets, it's definitely, trust me, it's Superman-ish, but you want to check it out the way it falls through. I think you'll like Superior. I know it's different, but I think that you'll like Superior, and I think that they could do a straight up movie with Superior. I think that's how they should roll. I think they should roll on the PG-13 level. I think this could happen, and maybe do like a limited release. I think that could work. And 3 is Empress. Now this is where we start to get that heat. Empress is, all right, so she has 3 children. She's running away from her, I guess, emperor, king, husband. You know, she's running away from him. She has 3 kids. One of the kids is like kind of bad. One of the kids is sort of good. And then she has like a newborn, but she's trying to get them away from the bad husband. And it's crazy because you find out that she's from Earth, but this is like the old Earth, like the Paleolithic age or whatever it would, like dinosaurs and stuff, like super old school Earth. Is like, that's when she was. And it's crazy, it's cool, and I think they could play it, they could play up a family drama with this one that really kind of like sucks you in. It has something for, I say the older kids, maybe like from 15 up, but I think that this, you could dip into R a little bit with your like television show, and I think that this could be a lot of fun. So my number 2 is Reborn. Now Reborn is getting into, I guess we might as well go and say supernatural kind of content, sort of. And you know, I love supernatural action, I love supernatural in general, so I had to throw Reborn in there. Reborn has to do with, let's just say, what happens when you die, and you know, even though you're dead, you might still have to fight. I'm gonna just leave it at that. And I think that's something that could work very well as a series as well. I think like, I'd have to say Reborn might dip into rated R, but I think you could do it as a PG-13. I mean, Mark Millar does some very rated R stuff, but I think you could save it with a PG-13 and actually do a theatrical run. So that's my number 2. Yeah, Reborn is cool. I think it's cool. So, you know, Reborn, you should check it out. So my final number 1 is Huck. Huck is just cute. Straight up, Huck is just, it's just a book that I think that you'll love because it's about the goodness. It's a guy that wants to do one good deed a day. I think that you could animate this for the younger kids. I mean, well, not for the younger kids, something that's accessible for the younger kids. Kind of like they do Pixar with, like, you know, it's kind of for kids, but adults can like it too. I think you could play Huck up that way, where, you know, you show him go through his struggles and stuff, because he has struggles. You know, go through his struggles, and also the town that he lives in, show how they act. But I think that you can adapt it in a way where kids can, like, you know, learn their morals and lessons, but also see someone that, you know, is heroic because of the sake of being heroic. So yeah, I really like Huck, guys. Like, I think you'll like it too. He's a good guy, and you'll see it. It's interesting to see what happens when you try to do good just to do good. So that's my top 5. I know you guys probably have other picks, but holla at me, I'ma holla at you. Down in the comments, let me know what you think about Chrononauts. Thank you. Let me know what you think about Empress. Empress is cool. Let me know what you think about Reborn. Let me know what you think about Huck, Superior, any of that stuff. Let me know I'm cool. Let me know I'm crazy. Either one will work. But before you bounce, let me tell you to hit up thatnerdsoul.com. That's right. Check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.thatnerdsoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt, player. And don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right. Don't forget that you can holler at me anytime. And that's how I show people that you like what you are watching. So my shout outs go to LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please, yo, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And yo, Netflix is now playing. You better get that subscription up. Peace.